think I speak for both Democrats and Republicans when I say that January the 20th can't come soon enough.
Today, we're going to take a look at a clip of Piers Morgan. Man, this guy, he drives me up one wall and down the other, but I can't tear my eyes away, where he talks to Destiny and Francesca Fiorentini, as well as a couple of other people on his program, about Biden's pardon of his son, Hunter Biden, which has riled up feelings on both sides of the aisle. I'm going to, of course, pipe in with my opinions as well, but why don't we take a listen?
Well, joining me now to discuss all this is the founder of the 1776 Project PAC, Ryan Gidursky, the streamer Destiny, the co-host of Verdict with Ted Cruz, Ben Ferguson, and host of the Bituation podcast, Francesca Fiorentini. Well, welcome to all of you. Destiny, let me start with you. You got anything, or are you taking a Chuck Schumer defense?
No, I think if a pardon is going to exist as a presidential power, I think this is the perfect time to use it.
Really? Even when you've told the world repeatedly, I'm not going to do that, and that everyone should be beholden to the law?
I think the mistake, if Biden made a mistake, it was to say that he wasn't going to do it.
You think?
Especially after seeing the nomination of people like Kash Patel, I think it is absolutely in good prudence to use it here, rather than allow Hunter Biden to be the subject of infinite investigations for the next 4 years of Trump's presidency.
Why should the right get to flout the rules and the left not? That's not a defense of flouting the rules, by the way, but if half of our government is doing it without apology, why do they get to be outraged when the other half of our government does it?
How the Liberals put Trump through all the criminal investigations.
Well, no, because Trump has criminal immunity from the Supreme Court, and all of his federal court cases are now dismissed, and the case in New York never had a sentencing and probably won't get one. So, no, that wouldn't be the same thing.
You seem very phlegmatic about all this, Destiny, but inside you must be hurting, because what Joe Biden has done with one flick of his pen is he has taken away all the high moral ground that the Democrats could have had against Trump for the next 4 years. Because Trump can now pardon who the hell he likes.
Trump would have done that anyway. Trump already did that. He appointed as ambassador Jared Kushner's father, who pled guilty to tax fraud, pardoned him, and now he's appointing him. Joe Biden didn't enable anything. Maybe ceding the high ground, perhaps, but it didn't enable Trump to do anything Trump wouldn't have already done.
He can pardon every January the 6th protester, and he can do it in the sure knowledge that the moment people like you go, this is an outrage, how can you do this? He goes, you know what? At least they went to prison. Hunter Biden didn't do a day.
These are two of the easiest questions in the world. Piers, one, if he doesn't pardon Hunter, do you think that influences Trump's decisions at all and who he pardons next?
That wasn't what I said. I said
yes.
it removes your ability.
Absolutely not. Number two.
It removes.
Number two.
Hang on. Let me answer number one first.
What have Democrats gotten for the moral high ground for the last 4 years?
Let me answer number one first. In answer to number one, in answer to number one, my point to you was, if he does, and I'm sure he will, you on the left have absolutely no way to now play the high moral ground. Because your guy, the president, did it even worse.
What is that? What is the high moral ground? We're down a Supreme Court pick. We lost the 2000 presidency to another Supreme Court. The president now has infinite criminal immunity. What is the moral high ground gotten the Democrats up to this point? There's no point in engaging in norms when only one side upholds the norms.
Yes.
And you want to talk about a farce? To pretend that Donald Trump's future pardon decisions are going to be based on who Biden decides to pardon is hilariously stupid. And if you want to talk about pardons, something that you never will hear, why not talk about some of Trump's pardons? How much time do we give to the pardon of Bannon or Stone, who was pardoned for crimes that were literally related to covering up other crimes from Donald Trump?
Destiny?
How many people care about that? Nobody. Where's the accountability for that? Nowhere.
You know
and
the
what's
difference?
the result of those investigations? They're all canceled. So
you know the difference?
I don't want to hear anything about Hunter Biden's pardon. It's a joke.
How many days in prison did Stone and Bannon and those guys do?
I'm pretty sure. Didn't Stone get clemency before he ever stepped foot in prison?
Yeah. He was sentenced to 40 months in prison, and then Trump pardoned him.
The day before, he got clemency. Also, forget Stone. Forget
Manafort
Stone.
was
It's
on
not
his
about how
way
much
to
time did
serve.
Stone spend in prison. It's about Donald Trump evading responsibility and culpability because Stone didn't have to testify about him. He said it publicly. He said, "Oh, Donald Trump, why would I squeal on the president?" And then he didn't say anything to Congress. He told another witness not to. And then when he got convicted of all those crimes, Trump said, "Oh, I'll pardon him." So don't talk about Hunter Biden's part. It's an absolute joke.
But of course, the reason that Joe Biden, we're bringing Ben Ferguson here, the reason that Joe Biden seems to have started this wide-ranging, all-encompassing free pass for Hunter from the year that he began at Burisma, where he had no experience, to be earning $1 million a year on the board of an energy company in Ukraine when Joe Biden was the vice president, literally put in charge of American-Ukraine relationships, is that it may well cover other crimes that may have been committed in relation to that, which might have led to the big guy.
It may well, which might have, which could have, maybe, might have, maybe, could have, maybe, might have, maybe, could have one day, maybe, kind of.
People have reported who might end up being Joe Biden. So in a way, he's providing a blanket immunity, which I know Destiny's very upset about immunity, to the Biden family here.
Yeah, look, I think Hunter Biden's pardon was much more than just Hunter Biden. Forget the corruption of Hunter Biden for a second. I think this was the pretext, and I'm going to make a prediction here, to a mass amount of pardons that are about to be coming down from this White House in the closing days of this administration, because they put together a list of people they believe have probably broken laws. They put it out there in the media over the last 24 hours, and they're justifying his brother and anybody that took money with the Biden last name, anybody that was corrupt at the FBI, anybody that was going after Donald Trump, the list, and they're trying to say that it's somehow Donald Trump's enemies list. So therefore, we are justified in handing out pardons to everyone that was involved in the Biden crime family or abusing their power to go after Donald Trump. And so I don't really care that much about Hunter Biden's pardon. Of course, this was always going to happen. This is a man that abused his and exploited his own son's addiction to make the Biden family more money. They didn't give a crap about Hunter Biden.
He said without any evidence.
They were funneling money to a drug addict, and they knew that could cost him his life. They didn't care because they wanted the money to keep coming into the Biden crime family. I actually feel
the Biden crime family.
Sorry for Hunter Biden. I feel sorry for a guy that has a father and family members that say, we've got an alibi. He's a drug addict. We'll say that's the excuse for the crimes that we're committing. And
again, without evidence.
Money laundering that we're doing, and all the bank accounts and all the money coming in from Romania and Ukraine and coming in from China and from Russian oligarchs.
So I love when the right goes on this spiel because they've been investigating this for over a year. There's no evidence. If they had evidence, you think they wouldn't have used it. There's no evidence, right? And they put it on the same scale as it's all political against Trump. No, there was evidence. He's been convicted of a jury of his peers on all counts. They deliberated for a day. So, on the one hand, there are the crimes and the evidence of those crimes, and Trump has dodged accountability using presidential powers. But when the accused Biden crime family, when they catch him, Hunter, on a legitimate charge, I mean, he did it. He was a drug addict. He lied on the form. He got the gun. I'm not saying the pardon doesn't feel kind of gross, but there's not a moral equivalency here, folks.
And they said, this is how we get away with it. We'll sell out America, the highest bidder, to the most corrupt people in the world, and we'll get away with it by saying, oh, he was a drug addict. He didn't know what he was doing. That is abuse of a child. It's really sad.
Okay.
I know I'm talking a lot, and this is juicy stuff, but this is another perfect example of accuse your opponent of the crime which you are committing, right? The right clutches their pearls and screams about the Biden crime family, and what they accuse them of are the crimes which Trump is literally guilty of having done.
Francesca, you've been grimacing there, but are you grimacing because in your heart you know that Joe Biden has done a massive disservice to everybody on the left here with an act of utter selfishness?
Oh, I'm grimacing just because I was imagining Ben Ferguson and Ted Cruz putting out a joint holiday card, and I was wondering if they wear matching pajamas when they do that. Oh, do you guys do that, Ben?
I don't understand exactly what
Is it
that
holiday
has to
sweaters
deal
or
with
is
the
it
idea
pajamas?
that you have a president that abused his power and exploited his son's drug addiction, put his
Where are
life
the
at risk
charges?
to make
Where are
money,
the
and you're
charges
talking
for-
about
where are
a
the
damn
charges for that?
Christmas card.
Oh, I
Where are
was
the
just,
charges?
that's why I
Those
was
are a lot of
smiling. I
fantastic
mean,
where are the
Piers was
charges for
asking me
these
why I was smiling, but in my heart of hearts, Piers, oh man, I wish I could give you just the tiniest little violin so you could strum it there in your studio talking about the death of democracy. You know why Biden pardoned his son? It was to troll you.
Because he's
it
a
was
scumbag.
to troll everybody. And you know why he didn't? He said he
didn't
wasn't
troll
going
me.
to, and then he did. Because he doesn't
didn't troll me
remember.
either. He sold out America.
He
the
didn't
highest
troll me.
bidder. Like,
troll
What
me,
he did, what he
squeal.
did was he trolled his own side because you all
Yeah.
queued up
Thank
to
God
defend
he's
him
not
as
going to
being
be president.
he was the good.
Thank
remember,
God he's not going to be president
in all the
anymore.
debates we've had this year.
I don't think that these two are defending a president pardoning his own son, which I think almost anybody that feels gross, right? That doesn't feel like a good faith use of the presidential pardon power, right? I mean, did Hunter Biden do it? Yes. Is that crime? Now, you can quibble it. Is that would people who weren't named Biden have been subject to the intensity of scrutiny and the dogged pursuit and the prison time? Almost certainly not. I mean, this was so clearly politically motivated from the get-go. Still, was the law executed? Yes, it was. He did do it, right? So, we don't really want presidents. I think Destiny said early on is if the presidential pardon power is going to exist at all, like, hold up the examples of the time when that has been used for justice and not to cover, political asses. I think there's a pretty good argument. So anyway, the left is not defending the choice. The left is saying it's pretty rich coming from Republicans defending Donald Trump, squealing so loud about how disgusting this is when we're talking about the political landscape we're talking about. There's a lot more of this. I'm going to do more of these videos for sure, but I want to hear what you think about this so far in the comments.